Welcome to Feed and Grain Chat. I'm your host, Elise Schaefer, editor of Feed and Grain magazine. This edition of Feed and Grain Chat is brought to you by Watt Global Media and feedandgrain.com. Feedandgrain.com is your source for the latest news, product, and equipment information for the grain handling and feed manufacturing industries. Today, I'm joined on Zoom by Richard Obermeyer, Director of Feed Production for Aviagen North America, a global poultry breeding company based in Huntsville, Alabama. He's here today to talk about how lights out manufacturing can reduce the spread of pathogens through feed. Hi, Richard. How are you?
Good, Elise. How are you today?
Doing well. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you very much. Appreciate the opportunity.
Well, Richard, let's get right into it. What are the most effective measures that can be taken inside a feed mill to keep pathogens from spreading?
One of the most effective is, of course, limiting people movement or traffic in and around the facility. Those introduce risk into a biosecure facility. So anytime you can reduce risk, you reduce the possibility of contaminating an area or cross-contaminating. So it's very important to be able to separate your processes, to be able to keep your areas as clean and as empty as possible. Basically no people, no operations in there but equipment itself. Because every time somebody walks into an area or tries to bring a tool into an area, you're entering a lot of risk into that area.
Richard, what's your opinion on lights out manufacturing in feed mills to eliminate biosecurity threats posed by human interaction?
I'm in favor of lights out manufacturing just for the pure effect of being able to operate a facility without anybody in it. I think that's where we're going in the future. But then also the biosecurity aspect of it. Again, as we spoke earlier, anytime you can reduce people entering an area, you are reducing the risk of that area. And by being able to operate the machinery without anybody in those areas, you are greatly reducing your biosecurity area, your possibility of cross-contamination, opening and closing doors. All of that creates additional risk that you eliminate by having a lights out type manufacturing.
Is this technology possible now, or is lights out manufacturing only possible in the future?
I'd say we're close. Is that good for an answer? I think there's several processes that are completely lights out now. I think grinding can be a lights out process. Batching can be a lights out process. So there are some processes that are already there, but there's some that we still have some work to do. And specifically to me, the big elephant in the room is pelleting. The pelleting machine is the last piece that requires some experience to operate, and you're working with different issues with feed temperatures and feed moistures and different ingredient matrices with your recipes that create some issues with pelleting. I think that's the last area we have to work on. I think it's possible in the long run, yes, as new sensors come along, new technology, quicker, faster control systems. I think we can get there and look forward to being there. But I still think we've got a ways to go. But I like the thought. I like to be able to do that. I think that's where we need to get there.
What aspects of the feed mill are the closest to achieving lights out manufacturing?
As I said, I think grinding's already there. I think batching's already there. I think you can grind and batch with lights out right now. So I think those two areas are definitely there. So again, I think pelleting is by far the farthest away. We've come a long way. We're much better than we used to be years ago. And I hate to tell everybody in the audience that I've got 40 years in this business, so I know what it was like 40 years ago to pellet feed, and it's so much better than it was then. To be able to, shut the lights off and not ever go to that pellet mill, I just don't think we're quite there yet. We're getting closer, but we still have a ways to go.
Well, there you have it on what the future may hold for feed mills and grain processing operations. Thank you for your time today, Richard.
Thank you very much.
And if you'd like to learn more about the latest cutting-edge feed processing plant built by Aviagen in Pikeville, Tennessee, be sure to read the October-November edition of Feed and Grain. That's all for today's Feed and Grain Chat. I hope to see you next time.